I'll message you on Slack out.
Cool. Picking up background. It's like just barely behind, but yeah, perfect. Yeah. You guys think about the name? It's pretty good. You can see both screens. I think you might be one screen stage, probably, and you might, especially blocking some of the person out there. I don't know.
So would it
We went a little bit right, maybe.
do you think it would be better if we do something like or maybe we should go for this? This would be good, and we bring this TV a little closer.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
It's pretty good right there.
Thanks. Yes. That's the volume. The tallest person in the class. Keeps it solid. Wow. Check your Slack.
Capstone Presentations.
Hey, see ya. Maybe like when the room is quiet, though, it might be okay.
It's like I could hear the rustling of like clothes in the vicinity of the. Like we have to have the overhead like super loud. Like we need to figure out how loudly the mic can go. That's the easiest way to fix it.
Just, can we make the mic louder? Can we make the mic a little louder in general? Apparently the live stream has the wrong cohort number. I don't understand how that.
I just saw it. It says 90.
Oh,
Are they trolling?
that's a good personal opinion.
You're making congrats. You kill it.
Oh, it's a g90. Okay.
Let's get the mic on. It's like at 95%. What? Probably
what we did last time. We can up it until that comes in.
Your slides.
But we need to do a live mic test. Just turn the volume up, so we need to test it, see if it is audible at the back, like in person, and see how it plays over this like a as well. Because if you have a mic at home, that I might be able to find. It's a USB thing, I just totally forgot about it. I may even have another podium to put it on up there, but like I need to know now if I need to run home.
Yeah.
Or I might need someone to call it, but I do 36. And if your battery doesn't stay, it counts down even though you're plugged in, you might need a bigger power.
Okay. Keep an eye on that. Should we try and maybe pull that screen and angle a little bit to the stage and just get this closer to the stage as well?
Or do to this one.
Maybe pull the stage back.
Just go. Let's
There's a switch on it. Yeah, we could probably keep Yeah, wait. Who has sound? Let's test that. This one's got 100. Yeah. Well, good thing we're going to record this one. I think it sounds pretty good.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Just like
Every team might have reactions. So let me turn that up a bit. Let me hear your thing.
Oh. Having it on the left side makes it out.
Hello, test. It's open. Up here.
Yeah. I am not a pro. Is it off? Yeah, I moved it from the left to the right. Anything I can do to help, or am I just in the way? No, good. Yeah, please do. No, we're just removing. We're getting feedback from the speaker.
Okay, I'm gonna need another mic check when I'm back there. I'm gonna try to turn it up higher, but see if we can.
Okay, cool.
Check. Stop again. Check. Oh. Check. Down. Check. Listen to me. Okay, that's okay because now we can move around if you want to.
Sure. I can snip the wires and fix it later. The level that is out for now, it wasn't it's just a huge range of these lines.
Test, test. 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 Testing. 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 Testing.
It's all right.
Okay.
This stand, they don't move around too much. This stand in that part. I think it's a very. I think it'll be all right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started in about 3 minutes. 3-minute warning. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please finish grabbing your food and find some seats. We're going to get this show on the road. once if you can hear me. Clap once if you can hear me. Thank you. All right. Hello, friends and family, Galvanize members and staff, and everyone watching on our live stream. Good evening and welcome to the Capstone Project Presentations for Galvanize's Web Development G90 cohort. My name is Matt Windsor. I'm one of the instructors here at Galvanize, and I've had the pleasure of guiding our G90 students through the final 6 weeks of their Galvanize tenure. I've seen them add knowledge of computer science, data structures, and algorithms to their web development skill set, and watch them rise to the challenge of building interesting, unique capstone projects under extraordinary time constraints. The projects that you will see tonight are the consummation of 6 months of dedication, hard work, and sacrifice. The Galvanize Web Development Program is highly demanding, with each student essentially putting their life on hold for 6 months as they reach for a new skill set and career. G90 plunged into the deep end, showing faith in themselves, trust in our staff, and a tremendous amount of grit and determination in order to become web developers. I think you'll agree that they've all pulled through with grace and aplomb. We always set the bar high for our capstone projects. Students must produce a full stack application in 10 days using at least one major unfamiliar technology and ultimately with limited instructor support. For this group, however, we challenge them further to think outside the box and pursue projects beyond the scope of traditional web development. As a result, tonight you will see not only web apps, but cross-platform games, native mobile applications, physical IoT projects with companion web apps, and even custom gaming engines. This is certainly one of the most diverse set of capstones that I have ever seen, and is a testament to G90's collective intelligence and creativity. Before we begin the presentations, I want to point out the culture of camaraderie and shared success that G90 exemplifies. Nobody gets through this program alone, and though our instructional staff is highly capable, there are only so many of us. With 26 students in the cohort, G90 has leaned on each other throughout their journey, and in doing so, they have all become better developers. They have learned, laughed, and sometimes cried together, building tremendous relationships along the way. I'm incredibly proud of them. And now, let's give them another hand. And now, without further ado, let's get to those presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Matt. Hello, everyone. Let's give him another hand. Unplug your plug. Yeah. Thank you all so much for coming out this evening. My name is Matt Houston, and this is Matt Campbell. A little about me before I dive into it. I'm a skier. As you can see, this is me at Arapahoe Basin in Montezuma a couple years ago. Other than being a skier, I'm a developer, I'm a huge gamer, and more than anything, I love playing music as well as going to see live music. This is a picture of my good friend Colin, who's in this band Boulder Sound Lab. We will see later in my hat. Colin's always telling me how difficult it can be to book gigs, especially without a band manager and being on the road. So this gave me an idea. I could probably build an app that would fix this problem. It's also just as difficult to book a band last minute when a band has dropped out. Solution is Giggle. Giggle is an app that will bring musicians and promoters together to book the beats. Here I have a short demo of my app. It's an iOS app that will be on the App Store shortly. From here, you can either choose to book a gig or you can log in as a band. I'm going to log in as a local Denver band called Cycles. You can write your genre, a website so the promoter can listen to your music, the date and the location of where you would like to book a show, as well as an email so the promoter can get in contact with you, and a short message if you would like. When you're done with the form, you can go ahead and click book this date, and it will automatically update the database, as well as show all your info here, as well as other bands. Now we'll go over to the promoter's side of the app, where they can update the location and the date of where they would like to book. And this will filter out all of the bands for just those requirements. Check all the bands, and here you will see Cycles, the band we just uploaded. And if you click on it, it will show all the information. You can either choose to book this band, or actually you can go back and look for Colin's band over SoundCloud. And as you can see here, they're going to willing to play for free, so we're going to go ahead and book them. If you click book this band, it will show your confirmation, as well as delete the band from the database, so that no one else will try to book them on that date and location. The major new texts I learned for this project were Swift and Xcode, and then for the back end, I used Node, Express, Connect, Postgres, and then deployed to Heroku. The major challenges for me were learning Swift and Xcode in just 10 days. And what went along with that is posting and getting data from the database is extremely difficult, as well as passing data from one view controller to another. Also, Swift and Xcode errors are very unscripted, so it made it very difficult to locate a bug inside the code. In the future, I'd really like to add a band profile page that will display music, pictures, video, messaging, as well as a map of the entire tour with a marker for each tour stop. I'd also like to add auth for the bands, promoters, as well as the fans, so that we can add a forum board where they can all communicate in one place together about these shows and music in general. Thank you all so much. My name is Matt Houston, and this is my contact info. Thank you so much, Matt. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Austin! This is pretty exciting. Yeah! Okay, so I want to introduce you guys to an app called Travelgram. The engineer of that, Austin Lovelace. So before we talk about Travelgram, I want to talk about myself a little backstory. So before I even knew anything about coding, HTML, CSS, anything, I was in the Navy and attended SEAL training for 9 months. 3 days after, 3 days after high school. So it was a big change, big move into a new life. I failed at SEAL training, got on discharge, didn't know what to do. So I went to school, took one coding class, loved it, dropped out, and came straight to Galvanize, pursuing a desire to travel, thinking that if I was a coder, I could be able to freelance and travel. So now I've done 6 paid courses, 3 at Galvanize, and 6 Udemy courses. I haven't went back. So the problem with apps like Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook is like they have so many posts dedicated to more than just what you're wanting to look at, like memes, selfies, travel posts, all sorts of things. So with Travelgram, the solution is to dedicate an app specifically to traveling, because who here likes to travel? Everybody likes to travel, so like why not have an app dedicated to traveling? So here's a quick demo of the app. We'll start off with a splash page showing you what you're going to see in the app, and we have a call to action to sign up. Now this authentication we're doing is a one-time password authentication. We're going to enter our phone number, and we're going to create an account. It's going to send us a text message back with the code to authenticate our user. So the user doesn't have to sign in again if they leave the app. They're automatically signed in forever unless they log out. When you create a username and a password, we store it into the database. So when you make a post, it associates that post with your username. So as you can see, I've been logged in before, and I've had a few posts on like different traveling trips I've taken. And then we can go ahead and delete a post. Here in just a second, I'll delete this last post. You'll see it disappear. It's gone. So I'll go back over and make a new post. So we've got two options. Either we can upload it with our camera, straight from the app, or with our camera roll. And how we do that is it sends the image URL back to Amazon and back down to us. Very difficult setup. Then it gives you an alert when you select your image, and I'll save it to your gallery. Then we'll go look at our camera roll, we'll select that image, we'll go ahead and describe our trip. I'm just going to stay in Denver. And we'll put our zip code to map our location so that whenever we want to, if another user wants to see where this was taken, they're able to see it on the map. So now we'll tap on our icon, we'll put our name and a picture, and I'll bring us to the map view of where this picture was taken in Denver. As you can see, it's responsive, and you can see where you're at. And then we'll go ahead and log out. We'll be brought back to the splash page where you can log back in. So the technologies I used React Native to build the app. Google Cloud Functions for my serverless server to authenticate my users, which connects to Firebase's database with their authentication. I use Amazon S3 to host my images from your camera roll or from your pictures. I use Expo as a simulator for the app to help build it. Very difficult to use. Twilio to help send the text messages back down to you with the code to authenticate the user. Google Maps to show the map view of where the user is located. Heroku to deploy the backend, Postman to test the backend, and Node and Mongo database to build the backend. So the biggest challenges I faced was poor planning, honestly. Just like not understanding where I should put my data in the beginning and just jumping right into it because I was really excited to build the app. I was very passionate about it. Wrong. Don't do that. It really affected the challenge of the app. It could have been much easier if I had taken the time to focus, gone back, and really planned out how I wanted things to be laid out. So continuing on, future implementations will be Socket.io and more user functionality for the users. And maybe a desktop version of Travelgram if you won't have a mobile device, so maybe they're away from their phone. But most importantly is refactoring Redux to maintain my state, to have it so my data is centrally located so that I can pass it around and have better planning and more scalability easier. So that's Travelgram on for hire, and that's it. Thank you so much, Austin. Next, I'd like to welcome to the stage, Will! Good evening. Hi everyone, my name is Will Kirkhope. Just recently finished what we're doing the program here with G90 and Galvanize. I'm going to talk to you tonight about my app called Fire Team Finder. Brief introduction about myself. I'm an avid adventure motorcyclist, rock climber known here. Spend a lot of time in the gym, and I also love playing video games, which takes me to the problem I'm addressing. Video games are fun. Everyone loves them. Maybe we used to be able to sit next to our brother, our friend on the couch and play them. Unfortunately, in recent years, they transitioned to a more of an online play style, which leads to some issues. Meeting people online can be sketchy. You don't know who you're playing with and what they're doing with your IP address. Okay? And so what I want to do is develop a dedicated social space for gamers to link up and meet people they want to play with online so they can get into the games and get to it. So my solution is Fire Team Finder. With Fire Team Finder, you create a public profile. There you can look at posts from other gamers and look at the same things on the games that you love and enjoy. And you can also create your own posts to accomplish what you need to in your game. So a demo here. So you're going to land on the landing page, and I pick my favorite game that I like to play. Mine is Destiny 2. Okay, so I'm going to see posts from other gamers that are describe what they were trying to do in the game, describe the event they're doing, and kind of a brief description. Up here, this top guy, he's looking to play some competitive Crucible matches, which is kind of speaking to me. Jump over to the profile section, view his. Here I can see his play style, top games he likes to play, as well as the clip that he's uploaded, so I can see how he actually likes to play, see if that pairs well with the way I like to play. From there, we're going to go back to the feed, and we're going to jump in our little chat room feature. I can drop him a message, say, hey, I'm ready to roll, shoot me an invite whenever you're ready. As you can see there, and then he'll drop me a message back, and we'll get rocking and rolling. From there, I can also create a post to get the game rolling for whatever I need to do in the game as well. Some of the tech I use, my main new tech was GraphQL, which is back-end database stuff. It's a bear. My other second new tech was called Socket.io, which is integrating the chat features in my app so people can communicate with each other. I built it with Vue, deployed it on Firebase, and backend is built with Postgres and deployed on Heroku. Some of the main challenges I faced, GraphQL has a ton of libraries. I think there's like 30 plus. So finding one that actually spoke to me, what I needed to do to accomplish it, and the amount of time I had was a little bit of a challenge. And Socket.io integration is a bear as well. Some of the future plans for my app, I would love to integrate Xbox Live and PlayStation Network messaging into the app so it's a little bit more seamless. Support more games, as you can see, I only have 5 there right now, and a new profile features and an improved profile section so people can get more out of that. Here's my contact info. My Xbox Live game tag is at the bottom if you guys want to jump on and play some games. This is the Fire Team Finder. My name is Will Kirkhope. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Will. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Elvin!
My name is Elvin Dolan, and I built an app called The Parlor over the past 10 days. And the thing I love about the tech industry is how it's impacted our worlds. It's changed the way we order food, the way we communicate with each other, and even the way we date each other. It's really positively impacted industries. But one industry that I noticed that hasn't changed since around 1888 is the hair salon industry. And it's been great so far, but there are a couple major issues with this industry, and one of them is hairstylist wages. Corporate giants like these pay their stylists an average of $9 an hour, according to Glassdoor. And these stylists are making pennies on the dollar, on every dollar that they earn for these companies. And it's not like the company has a trademarked recipe that would justify this. The real secret recipe is the individual hairstylist. The Parlor, my app, gives hairstylists a platform for them to flourish and use their talent for a full wage. Here is another issue with the hair industry. Reviews are non-specific to stylists. So you could walk into a hair salon and get the 5-star rating or the 1-star rating stylist, which is a scary thing. A bad haircut can not only ruin our day, but it could ruin our capstone presentation. Just kidding, Austin. Here's a little demo of my app. And one thing I've learned from working in customer service for years is that simplicity is very important. If a person can't figure out how to use it, then they won't. Here's a stylist. This is a stylist account signing up. As a client, we would be able to skip this screen and go straight into nearby hairstylists. So basically, they would just sign up for an account, which would also publish a public URL that the hairstylist would be able to share to promote their personal business and brand, which is, you can see that here. That is a public URL that somebody could actually share via their personal, like, social media. From my app also, with your phone's built-in share methods. So the problems I solved are stylists and clients will both have accounts. There will be individualized reviews, and you'll see client photos. So you'd actually be able to see a picture of a haircut that stylist has done, which would be really great to walk into a stylist and say, I like my haircut like he did this guy. They would also have a published page, and there would be an appointment tracker and booker. Some of the technologies that I use were Bootstrap for that published page, React Native for the app, Node.js in the back, Meteor, and Express. My database was a Mongo database, which is a non-relational database. That was a lot of fun to work with. I really like non-relational databases. That was hosted on MLab. Some issues I had along the way were integration of client and stylist accounts. Getting those two things to communicate with each other was a little tricky. Location information for stylists was also a little tricky. The longitude and latitude from an address to actually populate their little dot on the map. And there were a lot of different ways to do things. You run into one issue, you Google it, and there's 20 people that know the exact way to solve a problem, and every way they have is very different from the other. I did learn a lot about myself during this. I learned that I can literally do anything I set my mind to. Future implementations of this app, I would like to add online booking with payment processing, more customizable published page layouts, and I would like to disrupt the big salon industry forever. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eldon. Next up, please welcome to the stage, Tom!
Thank you, Eldon, for making that easy for me. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming tonight. My name is Tom Klukes. I am a software engineer. I just recently have dipped into the hardware side of things with this project. When I'm not coding, I like to spend my time outside, hiking, biking, traveling. I like to ride my bike around the city and not sit in traffic. But there is one issue with that. So let me see by show of hands who has seen a bike in the city that's dismembered. Maybe it's just a frame on a lock or two tires. This brings me to my issue. This bottom left picture here, you can see a dismembered bike, which you'll find all over the city. Modern day bike locks are outdated. Security is certainly an issue, by example of that picture. And carrying a key can be risky. And memorizing the padlock code can also be cumbersome. You'll end up like that guy who lost his keys again. So I built a solution for this issue. Pocket Locket is a full stack app and device combination. You can unlock the lock from your phone, and it actually sends you an alert if your bike is tampered with. So let's show you a little bit of the app. It's a real simple interface. You can log in with username and password, and you're out to your lock page where you can lock and unlock your bike with a simple click. And if your bike is tampered with, which we'll see in a moment, you get this little alert that says tamper alert. You can reset the lock if you'd like, press the button if it's just a link or something like that. So let's look at the hardware side of things. There's a little video. User can walk up to his lock for locking, unlock it, string the very secure string around the lock, and secure it. Locks it back up with the touch of his phone, checks it, goes about his day. Here we have the thief. And the thief comes to the bike, checks it out, sees that he can't, and is scared away by the alarm. Also, then the user has the alert on his phone, he comes out of the door, he can easily just reset the lock, and so some of the tech I use, Raspberry Pi and Linux, these were all brand new to me, the hardware side of things. I also connected the front end and the Pi with Socket.io, and then back end I use Node Express, Connects, and Postgres. Some technical difficulties along the way. Electricity. Who knew that electricity was a thing? I didn't know how resistors or transistors or any of that stuff worked. So that was certainly a hurdle. The Linux operating system and Raspberry Pi were also brand new again, and it was difficult to get over that. And the socket connection from app to server to lock was also difficult. Some future implementations. This is certainly just a prototype, as you can see by the super secure electrical wire that's in the right. But it kind of does resemble a U-lock style lock. If it was all in steel and kind of in a housing, that it would be a legitimate lock, I think. An in-lock camera would be awesome. You can see the perp trying to steal your bike. Solar power would be awesome. A native app that sends you notifications. And I'd also love to share a lot with your friends so you could take your friends' bike out and unlock it. This has been Pocket Locket. My name is Tom Kluke. I'll likely have the bike over so you can check it out and tinker with it if you'd like. And thank you all for your time.
Thank you so much, Tom. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Kim.
Okay, cool. Good. So my name is Kim Mosquito, and for the past 6 months, I attended Galvanize's web development immersive program to bring you guys shapes. So again, my name is Kim Mosquito. I'm a full-stack web developer born and raised in Denver, Colorado. My passions are definitely traveling and trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle. I wouldn't say I enjoy working out as much, but I definitely like the idea of thinking that I do. So there's that. So over 2018, I definitely traveled a lot, but I did start going to a personal training gym in March where I had Greg, my personal trainer. He was definitely accountable of like everything I did. So he chose every workout I did on whichever day. He was accountable for all my food logs. And I kind of noticed that was a problem when I traveled. I never knew anything that was going on. I just kind of was hoping that I would come back and Greg would make it all okay. But I did know that I had to do cardio, I had to do some sort of like free weights, and I had to eat right. So the problem that I found was that I just didn't know what to do when I wasn't at that gym. Like I didn't know if I was really choosing my battles right with whichever meal I chose. I'd go to the gym and I'd run for a little bit, but I never really knew, like, is this really gonna help me out at the end? And like, what are my eating habits say about me? Like, am I eating the right amount of calories? Not sure. So, this is where Shapes comes in. And so here is a little demo. You get started with signing in. So you log in, put your password, and you have access to all the workouts. There are 3 main target areas. So it's upper body, lower body, and abdominals, and you're able to see workouts for each day. You can obviously choose what you want to work out on whichever day, but it refreshes every time you choose or you open up the app, so that's pretty cool. On top of that, you also have a food journal so you can track what you eat. So you input whatever you ate for the day, and of course you can get HDs with it if you want. So if you want to write your serving, or if you want to type in your serving size, maybe even like your calories, you figure that out. And of course, you can also choose the date for whichever date you choose, and you then submit your journal, and it is all stored within the app. And then after that, some of the tech I used for Shapes was Node, Postgres, Heroku, Next, and my new tech was React Native, so it's pretty cool. But with all this tech came some problems. I didn't start off using a tool chain like Expo, and that was definitely the biggest issue I had. I thought I was on a great track, and then it just all kind of came crashing down, but it worked out for me. I learned a lot about it. I definitely got to like improvise and whatnot. As for the future of Shapes, I definitely want to make a community board. I think it'd be so cool for people to like share different recipes and see where everyone uses their calories and just, you know, if anyone wants to work out. But also, I think it'd be so cool to implement a watch app, maybe do some sort of like kind of connect your reins with the iWatch, and that would be able to help you like track your calories. Again, that was Shapes. My name is Cameron Macio, and you can reach me at all these phone numbers and email and stuff.
Thank you so much, Kim. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dave!
Everybody? Yeah, my name is Danny. I made the Say What app. Thank you all for being here. A little bit about me. I'm a full stack web developer, getting ready to graduate g90 Galvanize. I was a QA tester at Daily Burn in New York City for a while. I love baseball, football, the outdoors, and of course traveling. And for 3 years I lived in southern Spain, which is really what led me to this idea. So what's the problem? The problem is that traveling can be daunting, especially if there's a language barrier involved. It makes you almost not want to go if you don't think you communicate. Also, once you do pick a destination, where do you go? If you're going to go to Paris, what sites are you going to see? There's a million of them. So Say What has the solution. Say What includes a translations page that has translations for anything you type into several, like about 60 different languages. You can study customized phrases and sentences prior to your trip. It also includes a countries page where you can save countries and their currency, their primary language, and up to 3 sites and their Wikipedia page. You can also add, edit, or delete any of this information on the countries page. So now for a quick demo for you guys. So we'll start on the countries page where we got France and currency, their language. So let's add a new country. Let's say we want to go to Spain. So we'll add Spain as the country name. Euro is the currency. Spanish is what they speak. We're going to go to Madrid. We're going to go to Sevilla. We're going to go to Barcelona as our 3 sites. And you can even add a Wikipedia page just in case you want some more reference. And then after that, you click Add Country. There's going to be a little thing that says the country's been added successfully. Go Add to Countries. You see that Spain has been successfully added. And you could even update or delete any of that information. So let's head on over to the home page. We'll head on over to the translations page where we can type in any sentence we want. Let's say, for example, hello, where is the train station? We type that into the sentence block there. We find the language, it's our target language, so Spanish in this case. Type in the language code ES. Click translate, and down in the translation box, that translation comes up. That also works for other things like Chinese even. So you find Chinese simplified, type in that code, hit translate, and trust me, that says where's the train station in Chinese. And then you can reset the form and start over if you need to. Okay. So what technologies I use for the front end, I use React, CSS to style, React Router, which was new to me, React Strap for styling as well, which is also new technology, and Firebase to deploy. For the back end, I use PostgreSQL database, Google Cloud, machine learning, and AI for the translation, and that was new to me as well. I learned that in 10 days. The docs are very verbose, so I managed to get it done. I also used Express, Node, and Heroku to deploy. Challenges. Making the app responsive was very difficult because it is responsive on mobile web. Styling. This is a picture of me styling in React. It's difficult. Reading the Google Cloud translation docs are difficult too, just because there's a lot of information. It's really good information, but it's hard to get. It was hard to get what I needed out of it, but I ended up doing it all. In the future, I'd really like to make this a React Native app, so it's a real app that people can use on their phones. While it isn't mobile friendly, having it be an app would be great. I'd like to implement auth so people could log in and have their own customized pages. Having a camera to detect the languages in real time would be great to make the translations that much faster. And also adding a map for each country would be great. So thank you very much for coming out. My app is Say What. That's all my contact information. Please hit me up anytime if you guys would like. Thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you so much, Danny. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Tom!
Thank you. I am Thomas Lee, and I'm a full stack web developer and game developer. A little bit about me. I had a whole different life before here. I spent many years in retail home improvement, came to Galvanize because I needed a new start. Not an indoor developer. I love going outside and enjoying nature as it is. Early influences when I picked this topic to learn was arcade games. But the problem is, not everybody has a game console. I don't. So I needed to make a game that I can use on my Mac. My influences for the arcade there was the original arcade game Gauntlet. And I wondered if we could create my own version of that. Have a little demo. Play that here. So here we are spawning the video game, and we can interact with things. There's some fruit, and we'll need that for health once we encounter enemies. We also have money, gold coins in a treasure chest. Who doesn't like that? We need to pick those up. Well, let's go explore the rest of the environment here. We jump down, see what's out and around. Pretty sparse populated right now. Up there's more gold. There's an alpha and an archer. Another one there. Let's go see if we can attack him and eliminate him. Kind of hard getting the little arrows to line up. That's one of my future improvements for the game. Better targeting. We have a bunch of skeletons guarding some more gold. We're going to leave them be, and we're going to check out the rest of the game area. As we search through here, find different environments there. We're going to go inside. Take a look around, see what we can find. There's some goblins being held up as visitors there. See what else we can find. We can head back out to daylight there. And there's more fruit. We don't need those yet. We're going to go ahead and attack these skeletons here. See if we can take them down. Let's get our bow up and ready to go. And we have target issues. We got two of them. Yeah. So, some of the struggles I had with this was learning the Unity game engine. Totally brand new tech, something that's not brought up at Galvanize. Mechanics of the gameplay, the artwork, it was all overwhelming to figure out what I needed to start with, where to bring it, and make my new video game. Technology used was Unity game engine, C#. I had to learn for the logic of the game, how to make it play the way I wanted it to play. Future implementations of the game changed to a third-person view. add more levels, add more animations, pick from multiple characters, make that targeting system a little better. And this was gone over revisited, and you can contact me at any of these locations. Thank you.
Next up, our final presenter of our first group here before we take a break. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, RJ!
Hello. My name is RJ Kirko. My app is Garage Manager. Before we dive into that, a little bit about me. I recently finished the Galvanize Web Development Program. If it can I'm interested in it. One of my favorite things to do is measure motorcycling, and I just love working on vehicles, which is kind of where I got the problem that my app tries to address. This is my garage that I average Friday night. There's usually 5 to 6 motorcycles for a trip. You break things, you do stupid stuff out there, you need to find parts on the road, and it's really easy to lose track of what parts go to which place. So the solution is Garage Manager. It's an app where you easily take notes on each vehicle, what kind of oil filters you use, last time you serviced it, things like that. You can add vehicles, delete them, update them, whatever. It's using an asynchronous data type, so you can actually use it without a network. So you always have your data, you don't need to do it in cell phone range, if you're in the middle of nowhere, you're doing a little shop, you're trying to find something, it'll do it for you. So as you can see right here, there's already a vehicle in the garage. We're gonna add another one to it after we show off the functionality, I guess. So we're gonna add one of my motorcycles, put a couple of notes in the bottom, it's just gonna, maybe I didn't want to change recently, we're gonna submit it. It's you'll see a little notification pop up. Click OK. App's going to take a second to catch that data. Now you can see there's now 2 vehicles in the garage. And if we pan back over our garage, there's the second vehicle, the KLR. So that's that aspect of the app. Some of the challenges I ran into, the async storage is definitely difficult. It's very easy to do it wrong, and it can affect your functionality quite a bit. So in the future, I'm really hoping to fix that. The other issue I ran into was just the React Native docs in general. They're very easy, they're very good at just taking you in circles, and you just end up down rabbit holes, not finding what you need, which can be very frustrating. Future goals for the app, I need to rebuild the data structure, so I just get a little bit more functionality, maybe just crisper. And I'd like to add different pages where you've got motorcycles or cars, kind of fine-tune what you're keeping track of, what supplies, because they're very different. And just a smoother, nicer looking UI, so it's more fun for the user. Some of the technologies I use for this, I use JavaScript, React Native, Xtool, and Xcode and Xcode. React Native is pretty much all you need. It's amazing how much you can do with it, especially as you dive in and start reading the docs and learning more and more about it. My name is RJ Kirko. This is my contact information. Feel free to reach out. This is Garage Manager.
All right, let's get another big hand for our Group 1 presenters. All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break. 5 minutes, grab some food. If you didn't get any, grab a drink, go to the bathroom, come back, ready to rock. 2-minute warning, ladies and gentlemen. 2-minute warning. Please start making your way back to your seats. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please make your way back to your seats for our second round of presentations. We have 9 more fantastic presentations coming in this second group before our next break. Clap once if you can hear me. Clap twice if you can hear me. All right, thank you so much. It is now my pleasure. Welcome to the stage, Matt Riak.
Hey Riley, can you hear me? You can hear me, Riley, right? Yes. Cool, perfect, awesome. I'm Matt Riak. Some of you may know me as Mustache Matt, but I like to be known professionally as Matt Riak. So my product, my company is called Candy, and I'm here to talk to you about the product that we made called Concert Candy. A little about myself, though. I am a Colorado native. I'm a dancer. I'm a coder. I'm a hacker. I'm a gamer. I'm a hiker. I'm a burner. For you that are worried that might mean that I'm an arsonist, that's not what that means. That's not one of the crimes I've committed. A burner is someone that attends Burning Man festivals. That's what inspired my idea for my Capstone project, was a device at that event and a lot of other convention type events that allows users to connect with each other at the actual events. These are oftentimes called convention badges, and they're already an existing idea, but I took that idea and I tweaked it. So who here has ever been to a convention or a concert? Awesome. You find yourself surrounded by a ton of other people that share similar interests. You get to make some friends, you get to share stories. It's an awesome experience. Well, Concert Candy allows you to connect with more people easily and allows you something to take home with you. Concert Candy, as you can see on my wrist, is a device that has an individual LED screen on it that displays a custom pattern unique to this device. As you can see over here, RJ has his own device, and his device has its own unique custom pattern that's unique to its device as well. When we meet at a convention, we can shake hands. Hey, good to meet you. You too. And we can exchange the code between the two devices by simply pressing a button. And simply the code comes over from his device to my device, and then I have access to his code as well, via infrared transfer. Thanks, Sergeant. Yeah! The other cool part about this is once you actually get home from the convention, you plug the device into your computer and it takes you to a website. This website has a list of all the different places, or all the different places that people that you've ever from. So if you go to like a Coachella festival and you meet a bunch of people, you can see, oh, I met people from New York, from California, from Colorado. It also shows you the list of light patterns that you have access to, as well as being able to delete those from the device and take it to another show later. The technologies I used mainly for this hardware piece of the device was Arduinos and coding in C, which was a huge, huge challenge because before I started this project, I have never touched anything like this before. I didn't even know what soldering was. I had a steep learning curve when I started this project. The front-end website portal was built with React as well as Connect and Node. In the future, I would love to get more practice with this, but this was by far the hardest part. Just getting a light to turn on was really cool. In the future, there's a lot of different implementations that I could do with this. Some of them include like more business type conventions where you would exchange contact information with two different users so that when you get home from that convention, you can then connect with those people later on. So simply transferring data is really easy now. So now it's just a matter of different types of venues and different events you can hold this at. Thank you again for listening to me. Enjoy the rest of the second group. My name is Matt Riak, and this is Concert Candy.
Thank you so much, Matt. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Ryan.
Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Borstrom, and I'm here to tell you about my app, Move It. Move It is a mobile app that enables users who are moving to connect with users with the truck. I came up with this idea a few months ago as I've moved 4 times in the last year, from West Virginia to Illinois, Texas, to Denver. A little bit about me, I spent 2 years in West Virginia University's graphic design program. I then switched my major to advertising and minored in electronic media. There I took a basic HTML and CSS course that got me interested in coding. The problem I've solved is that people are always looking to move apartments, houses, or even picking up a new bike they just found on Craigslist. No one wants to keep paying those U-Haul fees or move fees, and Move It solves this issue. So here's a little demo of Move It. So let's say Billy's looking to move. On the landing page, you can choose, I want to move, I'm a mover, or show movers and users. So the first thing he's going to do is log in. You can also choose the log in with Facebook option. After submit, we're going to choose I want to move. Here we'll find takes us to a form that contains the username, the date he needs to move, the exact time he needs to move, the location, and the objects he needs to have moved. So after submitting the form, Billy's taken to a list of movers. You click on each mover to get info about the mover, such as price per day, the date we can help, the time, location, to show the user on the map, and we can connect with the user. Bob's a little pricey, so let's check out what Brett has done. We can see Brett's price per day is only $8, so we'll connect with Brett. We can even show the user right on the map. After clicking Show User, we can zoom in to his exact location, and you can see his exact address. For future implementations, I want to have straight payment options so users can pay right within the app. User ratings to show if drivers are reliable or not. And I want it to be deployed to the App Store and a socket item for instant messaging. Some technologies I use, new technologies I took on were Swift, Xcode, and Google Maps that were used in the front end, and Connects, Node, Express, and Postgres for the back end, and going to Peru. The biggest challenge I faced was getting data to display in different views of ourselves in Swift. Also, learning the different Xcode tools and including the Google Maps API was a challenge. This is Move It by Ryan Borgstrom. Thank you for listening, and here's my contact information.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Rob!
Hey everybody, my name is Robert Cobble. I'm a full stack web developer and graduate of Galvanized Web Development Immersive and the creator and developer of SmokeBreak. So the problem that I found is that we all seem to know somebody who smokes cigarettes, whether that be you yourself, a loved one, a friend, or a coworker even. Everybody knows somebody. And by this point, everybody knows how bad smoking is for them, but they choose not to or they don't want to quit. But some people may want to limit themselves, right, on their daily cigarette intake, but they might lack the self-control or even the organization to evenly space out their smoke breaks throughout the day. So that's where SmokeBreak comes in. It's a super intuitive app. Open it up, you enter in some information about your day, like when you woke up, what time you're planning on going to sleep, and how many cigarettes you want to smoke that day. You press a button, some magic happens, and then it'll calculate your most evenly spaced times throughout your day to take your cigarette breaks. You'll be alerted when these smoke breaks arrive, and you'll be given the option to either take the smoke break or skip the smoke break. So let's get into the demo. You see here the home screen, and we've got our ghost user. His name is coincidentally Robert. There's no relation, I swear. And he woke up this morning at 10 a.m. and he's planning on going to sleep at 10 p.m. So that's a solid 12 hours. He's pretty lucky. And he's planning on smoking 4 cigarettes today. So he presses a button, and his next smoke break is at 1 p.m. He's also using the app at 12:45, so you can see the countdown timer. I don't know if you guys can actually read that, but it's in seconds for the sake of the demonstration. But once it hits 0, he's been alerted that it's his smoke break time. You can either skip it or you can take it. So let's see which one he chooses. And he skipped it. Good job, and it takes you back to the home screen, and you can recalculate, and it'll tell you when your following smoke break is. But that's the gist of the app. That's how it functions. So let's talk about the tech I used. On the front end, I used a lot of JavaScript. For the mobile app development, I used React Native, deployed it all to Firebase, and then I did a whole lot of math. And on the back end, I used Express and Node for the database. I used Postgres, then connects, and I deployed all that to Heroku. Some challenges that I faced. First and foremost, the React Native navigation documentation is super dense. So the amount of time I spent sifting through all of that, I could have spent, doing other things. And then the second thing that I don't really even want to talk about is the math. So, there's that. So some things I'd like to do in the future with SmokeBreak is I'd like to implement a user system with auth, whereby a user can log in and over the course of time track their smoking history. I'd like to think that my users will be trying to be cognizant about their smoking habits. And so it'd be nice to be able to see whether you're making progress and smoking less than you were, or maybe you're smoking more than you were. The second thing that I'd like to implement is a kind of betting system on yourself using Stripe. So when you're asked for your information about your day, there'll also be an input field for like I'm going to bet $5 that I won't go over my cigarette limit today. And then if you go over that limit per cigarette or whatever, it'll deduct from that bet and then make a donation to a not-for-profit organization like lung cancer research or something along those lines. But that's what I'd like to do in the future. Once again, this is SmokeBreak. My name is Robert Connell. Here's my contact information. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Rob. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Michael!
Thank you, everybody. My name is Michael, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about my application, the Power of 3. Before that, here's a little bit about me. I've been involved with computers since about the 80s, in one way or another. Back then, our web browser was this application called Telnet. I actually remember when Netscape appeared on the scene. I spent 20 years off and on as a hobby programmer. I was a programmer for a text-based MUD called the Crimson Covenant, which was built on a small code base. I dabbled with gaming engines like Unity and using different derivatives of C programming language. And I've seen a lot of changes over the years, and I see one on the horizon. Adobe had announced that they're going to stop updating and distributing Flash Player by the end of 2020. Several websites have been built around Flash Player technology, and these websites are going to need to be updated. Luckily, open standards like HTML5 and WebGL have matured a lot in the past few years, and they provide many of the same graphic capabilities that Flash Player provides. 3JS is a library that's built on WebGL and should be a good replacement for Flash-based graphics. So for my project, I decided to build a 3D application to both learn and showcase US native browser technologies like WebGL and 3JS. I call my app the Tower of 3. It's a 3D game logic app. If a Rubik's Cube and Tetris got busy, they might have a kid that looks something like this. So it starts out with a basic splash screen where you can review high scores, maybe read some instructions before you start the game. And then you're going to be presented with a 3D tower where you can rotate each of the levels of this tower to manipulate the objects. The general idea is to select groups of similar objects that are neighbors and touching. You can rotate the whole tower when you're done to confirm your selection before you remove them. And once you remove them, everything's going to fall down into place. This also comes into play if you rotate levels and objects appear above an empty column. This is a basic reduction mode level. You reduce the tower down to nothing to finish the level. And once the level's finished, you'll be able to enter in your initials, which saves your score on a database that's published up on the roadmap. The levels increase in difficulty by having more colors as it goes along. The neighbor selection, it's done with event-based recursion, which was pretty fun to write. Not really. The WebGL, it uses a technology that's a scene-based rendering, so you actually have to set up cameras and lighting and define all of your objects and their materials and textures, which can produce some pretty realistic results, like these metal-looking Christmas balls that I got here in my app. All in all, I'm thinking that WebGL is a technology that could easily replace a lot of the graphics and stuff that we used Flash for. And since it's native to most modern web browsers, you don't need any plugins or extensions, which produce a lot of security risks. Some of the challenges I encountered, 3JS is just a 3D library, and coming from gaming engines like Unity and stuff, I was a little spoiled. So I actually had to develop my own game engine loop and stuff like that. I also decided to implement an event bus as a method for all my objects to communicate. And that introduced some timing issues between the objects and the animations and the gaming engine that I had to get over. So some of the future additions I like, more end-of-game logic to be able to tell the user that the levels are not able to be completed. Maybe some more game modes, like perpetual mode, where things keep falling down and populating so the game lasts a lot longer. Maybe some special unlocks and gems to help you out of certain hard situations. An options panel for adjusting volume, brightness, and the choice of backgrounds. The app actually has sound, it just didn't come across in the video. And touch support for mobile devices would be nice.
The text I used, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript on the front end to drive a 3JS library. I used a Node Express in the back end and connects to Postgres for the database. So if you're looking for a developer who has knowledge of the past and design in the future, name's Michael Coons. Here's my contact information. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Michael. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Belinda.
Good evening. My name is Belinda Galliano, and I will present you my app Permanente. I am from Venezuela, and my background is as a classical pianist. I have been in love not only with music, but also with visual art. And in the late years, I added technology to the list. As a creative person, who likes to create, communicate, I have been acquiring skills on UX and UX design by myself in the last year. To achieve the perfect combination for building things that make life easier and bring happiness, I decided to become a web developer. And today I can say that I achieved that goal.
Yeah.
I also love to eat.
Yeah.
We need to be careful because the food we eat gives our body the materials it needs to function properly. If we give too much food or bad food with the wrong instruction to our body, that can impact in our daily health and well-being. And it can reduce our ability to live an enjoyable and active life. Poor nutrition can contribute to stress, tiredness, and incapacity to work. And over time, it can contribute to developing several health problems. For that reason, it's important to track the food nutrients that we need. As he says, we are what we eat. And Plan My Meal is the solution, because this app is built to track the nutrients in our meal and adapt them to our own nutritional needs. And it's for any one of you who likes to eat and take care of yourself. Let's see how it works. Okay, we go to the home page. We have access to all the recipes. Let's see green smoothie. What is that? We click on the recipe and we can see the standard information in the recipe, all the ingredients and the directions. Let's click on nutrition. There we have all the nutrition information we need to know about this recipe. That looks good for me. Let's go back and let's add to the favorites. Also, we have the edit option there. We go back, we go to favorites, and we can see it's there in my recipes. We can create a recipe too and add all the information we need. Ingredients, direction of course, and notes are very important. We save that, we can see our recipe, and we can see the information we just added. Also, we click on nutrition if we have the nutrition information on the recipe, the new recipe. That is the important part of the app. Every time you change an ingredient or the quantity of that ingredient, it's going to update the nutrition information. And that way you can track the nutrients that you need. No? Okay, this is implementation. I need to add the user authentication, be able to track the nutrients on the meal by days and weeks, flow in the community of the app, which are recipe, create an automatic list of the needed ingredients to buy from the internet, and add the desktop version too. Technologies. From the front end, I use D3, HTML, CSS, SAS, Material, Google, JavaScript, React, and Redux. For big Capstone, we need to use a new technology. I use two, D3 and Redux was new for me. Back end, PostgreSQL, Express, and Terraform. Okay, challenge. The difficult part is to connect the ingredients with the nutrients while keeping it user-friendly. Okay, this is Pen by me. That is my contact information. If you want to contact me or have any questions, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Linda. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Mark Newton. I can connect two ends of the cable together. All right. Handshake. All right. Yeah. Good evening. Hey, all staff with presentations. Thanks for staying through here. My name is Mark Newcomb, G90. I was a WordPress developer before coming to Galvanize, so you can send your condolences my way. And this is like build your custom guitar app. This is a single page application for having a guitar built to your specifications. So a little bit about me. I'm a lifelong musician. I was a piano performance major in college. Also spent countless hours on both sides of the recording studio class, as you can see there. And I also fancy myself a little bit of an amateur guitar player. I can play a little bit, but I really enjoy the hardware aspects of the guitar body, the wood, the pick guards, the pickups, the neck. And so I have, in the past, bought a custom guitar built by one of these websites that allows you to do that. And in fact, there is my Stratocaster. You can see the nice cherry red and the white pearlescent pick guard there. So I thought I might build one of these myself. Now the problem, there are a couple of websites that do this already, Warmouth.com. They do a pretty good job. I'm not here to bash them at all, but it is built on a little bit of older technology. It's not quite scalable. It's a bit buggy. Some customer service reps have told me that on the phone, and I believe it. And also, it's not quite mobile friendly. You can see that's a screenshot of how it looks on a mobile device. So I thought, maybe I could do better. Maybe this would be a really good candidate for a JavaScript framework. So here is my app. Let's swipe over. All right, so here is the guitar build page. You can choose from a Fender Stratocaster or a Les Paul, left to right-handed. You can choose the guitar body. You can choose the pick guard. And let's say you want to switch it to right-handed. Right-handed. You want to do a metallic teal and a black pick guard. Let's say you change your mind. No, I want a Les Paul. Let's go with the Les Paul. Oh yeah, how about maroon? Is that it? Yeah, there we go. Oh, that was responsive. See, you gotta beat my code. And then buy, and it sends a post request up to a MongoDB and it spits it back out. Thanks for purchasing. Here's the bill you bought. Body type, Gibson Les Paul. Please don't sue me, Gibson. Left right-handed, paint finish in the right. Pick guard color black. Right. So the tech I used, just plain old React. I didn't even need Redux for this. MLabs hosted the MongoDB that I connected with Mongoose. And I wrote my own CSS because that's just how I roll. Challenges, SVGs. When you saw those guitars, the left and right-handed Stratocaster and the left and right-handed Gibson Les Pauls, those weren't images. Each one of those, even with all those codes, were all data points. Paths, here it says path ID, D equals M, and that goes on for like 2,000 lines for each one of those files. And getting Photoshop to export that and not just an image inside an SVG was a nightmare. I just about cleaned up the language there, but I got through that. Also, another challenge with SVGs, that metallic teal you saw, that really nice
yard, the guitar body pattern was not background color. It was this whole other thing in SVG called a V-box and viewport. So I had to look up the whole article to figure out what that was, which was nice because I had dealt with SVGs in the past as a reference developer, and we didn't quite have enough time for me to figure that out. But I got a chance to redeem myself and actually conquer it this time, which shows how much I've grown as a web developer here at Galvanize. Future implementations are a guitar neck. That's a whole other set of specifications. That's a part of it. The ability to store build, a guitar build, and recolor later if you decide to refine that and refine later. And a custom color, from a color wheel, or maybe even a photo upload feature if you want to upload a favorite picture of a cat and have that be your guitar body. If you wish to contact me, I can be reached at marknewcomb1.com because the guy who knows marknewcomb.com wanted $900 for the domain. That worked out for me because when I signed up for LinkedIn, the perma link that it gave me was marknewcomb1, and when I signed up for GitHub back in the day, it also gave me marknewcomb1. So I think I'm going to keep my domain. Anyways, a little bit of a tangent. This has been the Build Your Custom Guitar app, and thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mark. You're going to one. All right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Kieran.
You're great.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Kieran and I'm here today to talk to you about my app, SizeSpace. So, in my time spent here at Galvanize, becoming more familiar with the tech industry, I realized that we're all actually very lucky to be part of an industry that is uniquely innovative and fast-paced and ahead of the curve. And I think that one of the reasons for that is the push for open source software and resources like Stack Overflow and GitHub, which allow anyone with access to the internet and a personal computer to have the tools that they need to start learning and experimenting right away. Sadly, this isn't the case for other industries which otherwise have the potential to solve huge problems like environmental degradation or disease. So in my time spent working with scientists in academia, I quickly learned that information is obscured not only from the general public, but from scientists themselves. And what results is a lot of talented people wasting their time troubleshooting problems that have already been solved and asking questions that have already been asked. So generally, it's just a huge waste of everyone's time and money. And my solution to that was an app where scientists can come together and share information with each other. So let's look at the demo. So here you come, you log in, and then you go to your homepage, and there are all the posts. People are asking questions. And this is a question, but you can make a post. And if you want to edit that post, you can do that.
Yeah.
And then you can also delete it, so that's full crud for you. So in my front end, I used React and React Router and Bootstrap. And for my back end, I wrote it in Python. And I used Photo3, which is a library, a Python library that allows you to access Amazon Web Services. And I used Flask, which is a standard Python API library. And for my database, I used DynamoDB, which is Amazon's non-relational database. So learning Python syntax was really simple. It was kind of weird working with a new code editor and package manager, and the libraries were kind of a challenge. But really, the real villain of this story is DynamoDB. It's really hard to work with, and it's really hard to work with all these different technologies together. So if you're going to use DynamoDB, I think it's best to use it with other Amazon Web Services like API Gateway and Lambda and S3. I wouldn't recommend doing it the way I did it, but it got me excited about AWS. Woo! So in the future, I'd like to make user profiles more detailed so it's easy for people to find the people that they want to find. I want to add private messaging and also tagging systems. You know, the whole point of this app is like just being able to find the information that you need like as easily and quickly as possible. So again, my name is Kieran and my app is SciSpace. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Ben!
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is Ben Austin, and tonight I'd like to share with you my capstone project, Skate Spots. So just a little bit about me and my background in skateboarding. I grew up in the 1980s, popular time for skateboarding. So I would go down the driveway on my butt on the skateboard. In high school, I tried a little harder, but pretty soon I gave up. It was really hard. Now, back then, in the mid-90s and late 90s, there were not a lot of skate parks. So I was just skating on the platform. Fast forward to the 2000s, there's been a proliferation of skate parks. Colorado alone is home to over 100 public skate parks. So for me, in 2007, I was living in Phoenix. I tried skateboarding again at a public skate park in Phoenix. And I found out that the spot that you have can make a big difference and help you feel better about myself and my skills, and I figured out I was not completely useless due to having the right spot. So whereas before the problem might have been not having enough good skate spots, now the problem today is we got too many spots. How are we going to keep track of all these? Where they're at, which ones we want to skate at, which ones we have skated at. Well, that's where my application comes in, Skate Spots. So what Skate Spots does is, for a user, it'll keep track of all of your skateboard spots. In particular, it'll keep track of your wish list spots, what I'm calling someday spots, and also the spots that you've already skated, what I'm calling your other day spots. So let's take a look at skate spots in action. So you can see that as a user, you land on your home page, you have the option of going to either your someday spots or your other day spots. We're going to go into your someday spots, so the user will click on this someday spots. He's brought to a new page. It lists all of the spots that he would hope to skate at someday. Each spot has an image, location details, and a description. In addition to that, besides just listing your spots, Skate Spots will allow you to add a spot, edit a spot, and delete a spot. So let's just pretend that my buddy Scotty is coming in from Arizona. He's heard a lot about the Denver skate park just up the block. He wants to add that to his someday spots. What Scotty's going to do, he's going to click on this Add Spot button here. Brings him to a new page. He can enter in all the relevant information for the Denver skate park. Boom. Once that's all entered in, he's going to click on the Submit button, and bazinga, boom, Denver skate park is added to the top of his someday skate spots list. So in a nutshell, that's skate spots. Now, to build skate spots, I use several different technologies. On the front end, I use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React from the front end framework. And that was all hosted on Firebase. For the back end, my database stuff, I use Node, Express, Postgres, and Connect, and hosted that all on Heroku. Some of the challenges I encountered when building skate spots, like the rest of my cohort mates, we had a short time frame, 10 days. We had to marshal all those recent skills that we've learned at Galvanize over the past 6 months. For me, my major new technology that I learned within the past 10 days was the React front-end framework. In addition to that, there's feature greed. You always want your app to do more and to be best. So I had to be happy with a little bit at a time. And then not listed on here, but in particular to me, like styling is a pain. It was really frustrating. I like doing it, but it's easy to get, you change one margin and everything is connected. So it changes everything else. Very frustrating. In the future, with skate spots, several ways I can make it better. I'd like to make it a mobile application so that it can go with you as a skater you're out and about. In addition to that, it'd be cool to have a skills tracking feature so you can keep track of what you're currently working on. And it would be really cool to have another table in my database from which, as a user, you can search new spots to add to your list. So again, my name is Ben Austin. My application is Skate Spots. If you want to talk jobs, skateboarding, or coding, please look me up. Feel free to talk to me. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Ben. Next up, our last presenter of Group 2. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, George.
Hello, George.
Good job.
Thank you all for coming out. Wow. Hello, I'm George Hughes. I'm an audio engineer, a game designer, and most importantly, a software engineer as well. I'm so excited to show you my project, but first, I'd like to introduce you to my friend. Meet Eden. He's an astronaut on his journey back home, and but unfortunately has hit the bout of misfortune. So without further ado, I present to you the trailer for Paper Rocket.
trailer, not just engage with you guys that I'll narrate over now. So when you start the game, you're greeted with a title screen where a player can choose to load the game or save the game. So we're going to start off with a new game. This has full controller support, so no matter what you plug in, it'll work. On the game, you're created with your crash shift. All the characters are in a 2D, like flat paper style in a 3D environment. Your whole goal is to help you get home and rebuild this rocket ship. You have to jump past perilous obstacles like these outrun spikes and traverse dangerous environments. You also can talk to NPCs. So we have like a lot of different dialogue and story-based content going on here. So, and lastly, we have turn-based combat, which let's just slow the go there. So, technologies that I use. First off, I use Unity. Unity is the thing I use to create the game, as well as design the animations. Next, I use Blender to create all the 3D models, and C# to write the code. These are all technologies that are called Galvanize, and I had about 10 days to learn this and make this game at the same time. So, there were some challenges to overcome. Previously stated what I had to learn, but on top of that, Eden didn't exist, the art didn't exist, and the idea of the whole world didn't exist. I had some very challenges to face while taking this project, starting with actually building the world. I wanted to create a world that was interesting, but I'm also not an artist. I had to hit the ground running with sketching right away. Many sketches, coffee stains, and brainstorming sessions later led to this, creating the art. I decided to go for a fun, cartoony, paper, pop-up book kind of style. I took inspiration from Paper Mario and the Little Prince. And many hours were spent learning Photoshop, because if anyone here knows Photoshop, the shortcuts are super important if you don't know it. It's like swimming through mud. After creating the art, I had to design a feel, animating the characters, writing code to synchronize the player's movement with the animations itself, as well as enemies and instance battles, a bunch of other stuff. So, the way I overcame all these challenges was using the two-step method. First, make it functional. Who cares if it's clean, if it looks nice? Part two, make it polished, make it look good. So, future plans I have, explore more of the world that you're in. I also want to add more characters with their own personalities. Also want to add at least 3 more chapters to it with their own gimmicks and subplots. Also, I want to create animations and more moves for the combat system as well. That's Paper Rocket, and I'm George Gibbs. I will be having a live demo over there for anyone who wants to play, as well as we will have demos from Mike and Tom, as well as Tom's block over there as well. So thank you all so much.
Thank you all. Thank you, George, and thank you all. That concludes our second group. We have 6 more awesome presentations for you. But let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. Need to go to the bathroom, grab another drink, whatever you want to do. We'll get started again at 8:15. 8:15. Yeah.
Good.
I would not present a second time.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't know there were orange. You're all right. Yeah.
You have to turn it on? I don't understand.
Wait, does that have the same battery?
About 17 minutes, 18 minutes.
Added another 10 or 10, 12 minutes.
Just like running to the side. It looks like it should be all battery. Just do both those mics use the same? The other one. No, it's battery.
I don't know how they got this. Dang, can we just change it? What would the other one?
gentlemen, 2-minute warning, 2-minute warning to our last group, 6 final presentations.
It's good. I'm good. All the practices worked out. 17's a charge. Woo! Yeah.
This is pretty fun. She's here right here. Oh, here right here.
All right, clap once if you can hear me. Clap twice if you can hear me. Thank you, thank you.
All right. We have 6 more wonderful presentations for you tonight. Thank you all so much for staying for all of these capstoners. I'd like to welcome to the stage now, John!
All right, let me see a show of hands real quick. How many of you had the experience? You're sitting at work and somebody is nagging you to fix your posture. Sit up straight. Raise your hand. All right, well, if your hand is up, then you're in luck because my name is Josh Lee. Here's a few things about me. I'm a total web geek. I once participated in a national martial arts tournament. I will not tell you how I did because that is much less impressive. And I have horrendous posture. Like if it was an Olympic sport, I would win the gold medal at having awful posture. So that's why I created an app called Posture Mom. Now, Posture Mom is an app for anybody who wants just a really quick, simple, easiest way to help encourage good posture throughout the day. And what it uses is a lot of machine learning, Google TensorFlow technology with a user's webcam. Now, I know a lot of people might get a little freaked out when they hear that it uses someone's webcam, but here, I have an example of what it's recording. It doesn't record you, it records data points. So what happens, you can actually see here, it's actually recording up to 1,006 data points every second. So what that means is, and the important thing here for people who are concerned about security is, since it's just recording those data points, if someone were to hack into this thing, all they would be able to see is a bunch of numbers, and even if they knew how to put them together, all they could tell is, well, how awesome your dance moves are. So but what the app does is it parses that information, and I use an algorithm or some ratios to kind of create a posture index to monitor. So how it works, when you first download the app, you actually set your goal perfect posture here. So you're actually capturing your posture, and then you initialize the session. So it's just going to keep watching you throughout. And then while it's watching you, you just work while it runs in the background. Or what you can do is you can pull up charts and you can see like your average posture changes throughout the day, when you take breaks. And you can even pull up a data table And the status table shows you how long you spent in good posture versus how long you spent in poor posture. So you're probably wondering, it actually, and if you're wondering if it has any alerts, it actually, to give you the Posture Mom authentic experience, it actually doesn't just give you any alert. The alert you receive is an alert showing you a photo of my actual mom telling you to sit up straight and fix your posture. The technology here I used was mainly View and Electron, and what Electron does is it allows you to run it as a desktop app, meaning you don't have to have an internet browser open. It's a lot more secure, harder for someone to get into, and more convenient that way. But we also have Google Cloud Functions, so there is no external server it's hosting your data on. It's just on your computer. And this beautiful icon there, Google TensorFlow, that's the machine learning that's getting all the data. And that was probably the coolest and most challenging part, because when you think about it, there's a lot of motion throughout the day that doesn't really mean bad posture, like grabbing something off your desk, petting your coworker's dog, or anything. And the biggest challenge was getting it to not log that as bad posture. Recognize those as anomalies, essentially. Just anomalies. Now, still to come, I want to put in predictive-based alerts. So instead of just alerting you when you start to slouch, kind of figure out when you're about to and start alerting you, as well as stress analysis. Like, hey, you look like you've been coding too long. You need to take a break. My name is Josh Levy. Here's my contact info, and I encourage you to visit posturemom.com, where you can sign up for real and get a notification when the beta is ready to download. Thank you. Yeah!
Thank you so much, Josh. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Natalie!
Hi, my name is Natalie Todd, and I'm going to talk to you about my Learn Blackjack app that I made. I'm originally from Anchorage, Alaska, where I lived until I went to college in Missoula, Montana. I studied information systems and really enjoyed my coding classes. Despite that, I moved to Denver and worked in the staffing industry for 2.5 years before deciding to take the plunge and come to Galvanize to learn web development. I love writing code, spending time outside, and most of all, competition and games. So one thing I have noticed with online card games is there aren't very many that are geared toward someone who is learning to play for the first time. So I decided that I would build an application that allowed like a new user an optional hints function specifically for blackjack. So they would have the ability to log in, save their score history, and choose to have optional hints or not. And here's a demo of what I made. Now, as you can see, the user has the option of either hitting or standing with their current hand. Now, if they don't select one of these options, in 5 seconds, a hint pops up, and it's generally geared to a very new user. So for this, it's saying if you have less than 16 points in your hand or 16 points, you should fail, in theory. So definitely geared to support someone that's first starting out.
But at least in this instance, it works out because I do a little bit better than normal. With 2 wins to 1 loss. And the technology that I used for this was React, Redux, Bootstrap, and React Router. For the front end, that's deployed to Firebase. The back end database is made out of Mongo, Monk, and Heroku. So some challenges that I faced were the game logic took up a lot more time than I had originally anticipated. The algorithms were fairly complex, and that's where the majority of my time went in developing this application. It was also difficult to stick with one specific MVP because there are a lot of different options that I could have gone with. One that I thought about doing was making a betting option with money, but I decided to go the heads route for the new user. Feature implementations, I'd like to have multiple different games available to the user, and also the ability to play against multiple players rather than just the dealer. Also a mobile version in React Native. My name is Natalie Todd, and you can contact me here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Natalie. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Ryan! Yeah!
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ryan Kerr, and I'm a full-stack web developer. A little bit about myself: I'm a 6-year Army veteran and a humanitarian. I have an education in pre-medicine. I also like to build apps that will help connect people with others, as well as reducing complications and disparities that people face on a day-to-day basis. So here I'm about to talk about my application called Reach Out. So the problem we have is, today in society, there's an epidemic that needs to be addressed that hits many people close to home. Statistical analysis shows that veterans make up 1% of our country's population, and astonishingly, they have the highest suicidal rate of every demographic group. Sadly, 22 veterans today commit suicide due to combat PTSD, and several of my friends confirm this statistic. As a veteran who continually battles with PTSD, I've decided to do something about it with Reach Out, a Veterans Helping Veterans application program. With the disconnect of the military culture and the civilian field, many times the veterans find it hard to connect with civilian councils due to the differences of these two cultures. As we all know, the Department of Veterans Affairs has had many shortcomings due to budgeting issues that affect veterans on a day-to-day basis. With Reach Out, I've created an admin approach for veterans to reach out to supporting veterans in their community in order to get the emotional support and camaraderie that's direly needed. By creating this real-time application, I believe this is a means to help solve the budgeting issues affecting veterans, as well as establishing and uniting veterans in their community. So what does this app do? It helps enable veterans to reach out for help by their location. It provides real-time communication through a chat group, and it helps unite the veterans by doing so. Here's a short demonstration of what my application can do. So here we have a landing page where the veteran can log in, where they take it to Auth0, where they can authenticate their user to secure their database information. From here, we're taken to our home navigation page where we have a user profile, where we have our notification sections to show notifications from other veterans, a Reach Out tab to allow veterans to reach out to other veterans in the community, a chat lounge if they just want to talk, and a contact space to show the current contacts that are in the user database. So here we have 6 people we see that each person has a user image, a full name, and the branch of service that's associated with that person. So we go back and see there's an active notification out there. From here, we can go to that page and see what's going on. So we see that there's a veteran that's asking for help. We click on that notification, it shows the map location where they're at. And then we click on the map, and it takes us to a chat group. From here, we have the real-time communication, see what person or what they're asking for. From here, we can input our user information, and then we can put a response out there. And there, if you might want to make contact, you can save that contact into your personal database profile, and then from there, you keep your contact in your history. So for the front-end technology that I use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in accordance with Vue. I use Auth0 for the authentication of the database, as well as Firebase to deploy the application. I use Google Maps to do the geolocation services. I use Bootstrap as well for some of the styling, and Socket.io, which is what was used to create the socket environment for the chat application. For the back end, I use Express.js, Postgres, Node.js, Connects and Objection, and I use Heroku to deploy the database. So the problems I encountered was the multiple new technologies I use with Socket.io, Google Maps, and Auth0. Staying focused on my MVP because there's so many different things going on at once, and keeping track of all that, and then getting all the text to work together, while integrating multiple callback URLs to sync everything up. So for future implementations, I would like to build this into a Vue native app, so everybody can have it wherever they go, as well as adding an event section to coordinate and to get vendors to come together every once in a while, and then eventually approach this with the VA to have more resources for residents. So this is my contact information, so if you're interested, you can please reach out to me. So I have a call to action, or I'll try to get this community started tonight. So if you know anybody who's a veteran dealing with PTSD, please feel free to contact me after this. And I'd like to end this with a short statement. That in order to save a life, all we have to do is reach out. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Josh! Everyone should take a look at our kid's original Owen Myers photograph. Okay.
Pure style.
Matt, thank you for the introduction, and thank you all for being here tonight. My name is Josh Robbs. I'm originally from North Carolina, and I'm a full stack web developer. This is my app and IoT solution, Egg Tracker. So how many times has this happened to you? You get to the store, you take a look at your list, and you got all the ingredients to make a cake or maybe have brunch on Sunday, but you just can't remember if you have any eggs. You either buy eggs, you have too many eggs, or you get home and you didn't have any in the first place. So in the former scenario, you end up wasting a few eggs, losing the cash you spent on them, contributing to food waste. In the latter scenario, you go back to the store, wasting your time and wasting money on gas. So my IoT solution, Egg Tracker, and its accompanying web app, will help you keep track of all your food perishables, save you time and money. So it's hard. I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about the web app, and then I'm going to talk about what's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
All right. So, we land on the homepage, and as you see, we have a refrigerator and a pantry. Let's see what's in the refrigerator. We have some milk, some eggs, and some strawberries. Let's update the quantity of strawberries that we have. We'll decrease it from 6 to 4. Click submit, and as you can see, it's been updated in the database. And this allows our users to track any of their food perishables. We can also delete an item or add a new item. Now this app will let you track anything that you need to track, but who's really going to take out their phone every time they need a start break? So keep this number 11 in mind as we move to the next slide, because this number is actually being updated dynamically with our IoT companion. So how does it work? Egg Tracker is a small computer, Raspberry Pi with a camera, and it takes an image of your egg carton, runs it through some image processing software, and it detects how many eggs are in the carton. This is an actual picture of Tracking.js overlaying green boxes on all of the areas that match the color spectrum that I've dictated in the code. And as you can see, it's counted 11 out of 12 eggs. The reason it hasn't picked up the last egg is because it's in the shadows and it's more gray than white. Now, 11 is significant because if you remember from the demo, there's 11 eggs in our database. And that's because this was the image that was used and processed to update the database and count in our app. So 11 eggs here and 11 eggs in the app. Now I focus on eggs for this prototype, but you can use it to count just about anything. And all data will be available to you by our web. The challenge that Tracking.js is a very powerful library for image and video processing. It can literally track faces in real time. It can be leveraged to count things like I've done. You can basically pull out any information from an image or a picture that you need. But it was never designed to be used in a browser. And since I was implementing an IoT solution, I needed to run the code in Node. And making that exchange was very difficult. Future directions that I have in mind are changing from Tracking.js to OpenCV, which is actually a Python library. And I'm going to implement edge detection so that we can maybe get that count up to 12 instead of 11. I'd also like to refactor the app to React Native so it can live on your phone versus having to navigate to it in web. And I'd like to incorporate UPC scanning to more easily add products to your fridge or pantry. The texts that I used were Tracking.js and Raspberry Pi for the IoT solution, which were my new texts, Express Connect and Postgres for my backend, React for my front end, and Roku and Firebase for the deployment. So here's my contact information. I'll be around here for the rest of the night if you would like to talk about code or scuba diving or anything else. Once again, my name is Josh Robbs. This has been my app Egg Tracker, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Josh. Next up, please welcome to the stage, Tiffany!
Look at you go, Tiffany.
Woo!
There you go.
Woo! Hi everyone, my name is Tiffany Ricks and I'm the developer of the app Friendfield. A little bit about me, I'm a student at Galvanize. I love to garden and I wanted to combine the two, which led me to want to make an app that helps other gardeners connect and share their produce to reduce overall overproduction overall. A little bit about the app. It's a place where people from all walks of life can come together to sustain a virtual garden and share what is grown with the community. I came up with the idea because I have a problem with buying too much produce at the grocery store, and most of the food would end up going bad because I couldn't use it in time. I thought it would be nice if I could find what I needed from someone around me locally who has a garden and would be willing to share it. All right, problem. So in the USA, between 40 and 50% of food is thrown away each day, and most of that is fruits and vegetables. And the waste is valued at $165 billion a year. So it's a real problem. So the solution, Friendfield. This app will help reduce food waste by allowing users to share produce within a virtual community garden. And community gardens can help reduce negative environmental impacts by promoting sustainable agriculture, reducing food transportation costs, and reducing water runoff. All right, so a quick demo here. We're going to log in with a username, an email, and a password. Okay.
Okay, so then we're gonna go to the home screen and we're gonna click to get started there. So we're gonna submit a new request. Let's see what we got here. Carrots, 10 carrots, and location, Denver, Colorado. And then you can choose if you're offering or if you're wanting something. And then a picture if you have one. And submit. We'll go to the list page. You see carrots are on the top there. So that's working, that's good.
Yes.
All right, so then we're gonna click on Beats from True Farms there. We're gonna choose a quantity. Let's see what we got here. 3. We're gonna add to the basket. Next little notification there. And then how to contact. Let's just go back to the list page. And then log out, we'll take you back to the welcome page. So for the front end, I did React Native, Redux, Expo, and Firebase to deploy. Back end, Postgres connects Express to Roku. So some problems I encountered. Learning a new tech in 10 days, that was pretty hard. Lots of trial and error, and not enough sleep. Future implementations, users will be able to upload their own picture of what they have, make a chat feature available, and make it available to restaurants and grocery stores. Again, my name is Tiffany Ertz. I'm the developer of Funfield. Here's my contact info. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Tiffany. And now, last but certainly not least, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Josh! Okay, so I'm Josh, and my app is Museum. Yeah. So a little bit about me. I am a software developer, obviously. I am a huge runner, love to run. I've been an athlete my entire life. I'm also a big gamer. I love to play video games. And I'm also a millennial, which means I love memes. And I think so what my app does, it's basically a social media web app made specifically for memes only. Users can post and share memes with each other. I made this app because there are no apps specifically made just for memes. There used to be iFunny like 6 years ago, but that kind of died. No one uses it anymore. And then there's like Instagram and Facebook, but that's not just for memes, it's for everything. And this is my demo. So I got a few memes on the page there. So I'm gonna upload a new picture or meme. I'm gonna select a JavaScript meme that pretty much everyone here can sort of relate to. Gonna upload it from my file system on my computer. And there we go. Alright, so I'm gonna upload another one. So let's just say I never wanted to upload this. It was a mistake. It's gonna take a few seconds. Cool, so let's just say I never meant to upload it. I can go and delete it. I'm just gonna delete it from my front end and my back end. And then I'm gonna go to my profile.
And there's all the memes that I have posted. Obviously, it's going to be the same stuff because I'm the only user right now. And yeah. And the technologies I use React and Redux for the front end. Redux is my new technology. I use Node.js, Express, Connect, and Postgres for my back end. I use Heroku to deploy the app, and I used Firebase to host my images for the back end. The problems I encountered, I had a lot of problems with Firebase. It's giving me like security clearance issues, and it just took a while to figure that out. And obviously, learning Redux is pretty hard. Redux is actually pretty complicated. So, the things I'd like to have in the future, I'd like to add a liking thing like every other social media app does. I'd like to be able to save memes that you think are funny. And you can like save it to just like a link, like the save the link. I like to have categories. You can like filter out certain memes. Like there's nothing that really does that. Basically, if I want to look at like a certain kind of meme or whatever, I have to like basically just Google search it, and then I want to make it mobile compatible. And once again, my name is Josh. My app is MemeGM, and there's my contact information. Yeah. Wow, those are some killer presentations. Let's give G90 one more hand. I want to thank you all again so much for being here to cheer on our students, to see the culmination of all their hard work over these past 6 months. I also want to give a big shout out to Dan and Muta, any other instructors and galvanized staff we have in the crowd. Yeah! We also have a number of current galvanized students here, so I hope you found a little bit of inspiration for ultimately for your capstones whenever you get there. What's that mean?
I thought it said G102.
G102, G102! It's really been a pleasure. Have a wonderful rest of your night. If you want to hang out and check out some of the demos, I think we're going to have some of those games demoed over there. If you'd like to just chat more with our students, if you want to look like a Power Ranger and check out Matt React's awesome IoT app, stick around and let's party, G90. Let's do it. Yeah. Well, graduation. Usually, you know what? Yeah. G90, please meet me in gold coin. We can all come together and stand it on down. Sweet. Fuck yeah. Do it.